that signed up for the class will be joining us shortly, but whether or not they do, you shouldn't be punished for being on time. So we're going to go ahead and start the class. This is the online store class, and this works in conjunction with the paired app, or you can use it as a website. Either way works just fine. In conjunction with the paired app, though, it does an awful lot more than just what the online store does as the site, but that's what it needs to be set up in order to use either the paired app or the online store site. So we're going to go ahead and go through that process of setup. So the first thing we do is we click on the online button in our Transcend toolbar, and that brings up this window here, the Set Up the Online Store. It might look a little bit confusing, but don't worry about that. I'm going to go over each line with you, and you'll see it's all fairly simple. One other thing I want you to be aware of is that I am recording this class. When the class is over, I'll ask you if you'd like a copy of the class that you just attended, and we can email you a link to the recording so you or your staff or anybody else that may need to see it in the future will be able to do so. All right. So, existing website address, that's our first field, and that's exactly what you put here. You put in your business's website address. Next is email address. You may or may not need an email address here. The email address here will notify you if somebody makes a purchase online of retail or books themselves an appointment or purchases a gift certificate, etc., but you don't necessarily need that notification, which is why you can actually leave that blank if you'd like. And why I say that is, if somebody were to actually book an appointment online, well, of course, the appointment will be on your appointment book. And it'll have its own unique web color, and it will have the word web next to it. So it's very easy to see what was booked online. Also, you can run a report that says, essentially, I'd like to see everything that was booked online last night or last week or whatever date range you want to put in. So you don't technically need to be notified because the system takes care of it for you. Also, if somebody were to make a purchase of an online product, then in your point of sale, you will get an alert that lets you know that somebody has in fact made that purchase, and then you're able to print out a mailing label right from that order that they've placed, take your product off the shelf and ship it out to them. Of course, because that alert comes into your point of sale, again, you may not feel it necessary to receive an email for that. And finally, of course, a gift certificate or gift card. If somebody makes a purchase of a gift card that you have to ship out, you'll get an alert just like with the online retail. If it's a gift certificate and you're using the site, then they're able to simply print out their certificate and walk into your shop and use it. Your software is already aware of it. So again, you don't necessarily need to be notified. They pay for it online, and it's available to them immediately. And the next is if they're using the app, then their actual smartphone will become their gift card. And you'll actually be able to scan it if you have a barcode scanner right off their phone. If you don't have a barcode scanner, you'll be able to type the number in, again, right off their phone. So their phone can actually become their gift card. So email address is entirely up to you. It is optional. Next, terms and conditions. The terms and conditions you're going to be putting in for whatever portions you're going to be using this for, whether it's appointments online, gift certificates or gift card sales online, or retail sales online. If you're only using one of those features, then you're only going to address that feature. If you're using all three, like I am, then you can put in a message, perhaps like I did here, that addresses all three. All purchases of gift certificates, cards, or products online are final sales. No refunds are available. We require 48-hour advance notice of any cancellation, blah, 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 blah. But the important thing to note here is that this is just a blank white box, and you type in whatever you want the message to be. There's a terms and conditions button on the site that your customers will be able to visit if they care to read your terms and conditions. Next is the bottom message. Now, the bottom message is a tiny little line of text at the very bottom of your site, and it could say something like what we have here, Pro Solutions Software Inc., 2017, all rights reserved. Or it might say something like, if you have any questions, please call, and then the telephone number that you'd like to put in. Again, whatever that bottom message you want it to be, that's what you write here. Next, we have the API login and the API transaction key. Now, these are the only two that are kind of confusing. Well, what exactly are these? Well, you don't need them if all you're doing is booking appointments online. However, if you want your customers to be able to make a purchase of product online or to be able to purchase a gift card or gift certificate online, then you must have these filled in, because it is these, the login and the transaction key, that are going to allow your site to accept credit cards from your customers online, whether it's through the app or through the site. Now, how do you get these? Well, you don't have to use our preferred provider. We certainly do like it if you do, and we can help you with everything if you do, but you don't have to. If you choose to go with whatever provider you like, you need to get from them what's called an online merchant ID. Now, an online merchant ID is different than your brick and mortar ID. The brick and mortar merchant ID is what you're using to accept credit cards in your store right now. That's your brick and mortar ID. An online ID can come from the same company or from a different company that will allow you to make sales online through a website, for instance. Now, it's important that you understand the difference because you are not allowed to use a brick and mortar ID to accept online sales. Those are just the rules of the credit card industry. It's got nothing to do with us. So you do need to get that online merchant ID. Once you have that, then you're going to go to a site called Authorize.net. And the Authorize.net site says Getting Started. That's one of your features here. And with that, you're going to create an account with Authorize.net. Now, Authorize.net is not a credit card company. They're a payment gateway. And the payment gateway is the payment gateway that Pro Solution Software has chosen to work with our software and our app. So when you set up your Authorize.net account so that you can have a payment gateway to accept credit cards online, you will be supplied an Authorize.net login and transaction key. You'll be able to plug those in here then. So that's where you get them from. After getting your online merchant ID, then you go to Authorize.net and you set up your account using your online merchant ID. You will be supplied a login and a transaction key, and that's what you will plug in here. From that point forward, you will be able to accept credit cards through your website or through the app. Next, we have main image, side banner image, and bottom banner image. So let's take a look at what I'm talking about there. This is what your store could look like. And the reason I say that is because you're in control of the background imagery color, the main color, which is the color behind your buttons and behind your art. You're in control of the actual words that your customers will see in the different signs. But these three are what we're talking about right now. Where it says Spot C Blue, you've got the woman jumping, and you've got the bottom part, Spot C Blue. That's these three items right here. The main image, the side banner image, and the bottom banner image. So you simply press Upload, and you will now be able to upload an image. So you can browse to anywhere on your computer that you may have it. So I'm going to go to my Bella Renaissance top image here, and I'm going to upload that. Should take just about 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3, and there it is. And now I'm going to upload a new side banner and browse. And instead of the woman jumping, I'm going to go with my reflexology foot here and upload that. Again, oh, that came up nice and quick. And then finally, my bottom banner. And I'll browse and I'll choose my Bella Renaissance bottom and upload. So artwork on your computer, you're able to browse to it and upload it. So once those three images are in, I'll save that. Let's take a look. So this is my screen, and I'm going to refresh it because I've made some changes. And now I've got these three new images. So you can change those as often as you'd like, or you can just make them one time. It's entirely up to you. Now, we do have a spec format for these images. Our graphic arts department is happy to give you that spec format so that you can make these yourself. However, I want you to be aware that the graphic arts department is available to you at no charge. So if you can't make these yourself, you have an idea, you have some artwork, but you really, you can't get them to fit properly, or maybe they're the wrong format or they're the wrong size, our graphic arts department will work with you to create these images for you and then email them to you. And once you are satisfied, you can save them to your computer and you can upload them. Again, at absolutely no charge. Our main color, this is the color behind our imagery and behind our text. So I can click on that, for instance. You click on the square that has the color and choose a new color. And I'm going to make this a nice light green. And then my background color, that's the color that you see on the sides here. I'll make that a dark green. Then we can choose our font size. The standard size is 3. You can move that up to 4 if you'd like it to be a little bit bigger, but I wouldn't recommend increasing the font size to anything larger than 4. If you start increasing it to things like 5, 6, 7, or God forbid 12, or so, you're going to start messing with the format. So 3 or 4. Next is the font name. We have already placed the Arial font into the system for you. It's the most easily readable font online, and that's why we put it in there for you already. We recommend that you use it. Can you choose a different font? Absolutely. You can type in any font that you have installed on your computer, put in the full font name here, and the system will use that. Understand, some fonts are extremely difficult to read. Some of them might be very fancy looking, maybe some script or something like that, and that's what you like to go with, and that's fine. You can do that. But again, please remember, your customers are going to be reading this either on a full-size web page or on their smartphone. And if they're doing it on their smartphone, I would highly recommend that you not use something fancy. This is a very small screen. Next, we have font color. I've chosen black, really easy to read against a main color that's so light. It's important that you understand that the font color and the main color must contrast. So if you have chosen a dark main color, do not go with a dark font. You must go with a light font, like a yellow or a white. If you have chosen a light main color, like I have, then you're going to go with a dark font color. There has to be contrast because think about this. If the main color was a dark purple and your font color was black, it would be almost impossible to read. If your main color was white and your font color was yellow, again, it would be very difficult to read. So you want that contrast. Whatever your main color and your font colors are, make sure that they contrast sharply. Next, the hyperlink color. Throughout the pages, there are hyperlinks. And I've simply said that any hyperlink that you haven't visited yet is going to be this blue. Again, choosing a color is as simple as clicking on the box, choosing the color that you're interested in, and hitting OK. After you've put in your hyperlink color, we have our previously visited link color. And what that means is if your customer has already visited that link, then it will turn into this burgundy color rather than this blue. Then they know they've already been there before. Next is the mouse over link color. When you bring your mouse over a hyperlink, I've said I want it to change to this hot pink. That way it'll be very easy to see what I'm about to activate. I'll give you an example of all of this in just a moment. Then we have our active hyperlink, and I've simply said that I want it to be the same color as my hyperlink color, but basically what that means is this is the hyperlink that you're currently in. And so I've just said to leave it at that same color. Finally, the button color, these are the main buttons on your front screen of your online store. And we have all of the basics: blue, red, yellow, green, pink, brown, orange, and black. So those should be able to match up with your website fairly well. So we'll go ahead and change that to green and save. So we've changed our main color, our background color, and our button color. So let's take a look. Let's refresh. And now our buttons are green, our background color is this light green, our main color is this light green, and our background color is this dark green. Now you may look at that background color and think, boy, that's an awful lot of wasted space, and that's fine. Remember, it's this part in the middle that's important, and this has been formatted, optimized for a smartphone. And of course, if we were to use one of the features like Appointments Online, then we've got our text, our font, in black and in the font size of 4, which is what I've selected. You can see the hyperlinks here: help and sign up, I haven't visited. Create your free account, I haven't visited. Lost password and operator login, I haven't visited. But home and store I have, which is why they're burgundy. And if I bring my mouse over any of these hyperlinks, they will turn hot pink because that is what I selected. That way I know I'm about to click on it, and if I click here, it's going to go to sign up. If I click here, it's going to go to help, etc. Okay, so let's go on back here. We'll take us back to our main screen, and let's go back into the setup. Okay, so we have put in all of the things that we want. We've pressed save. Our setup online store has been properly set up. We've got our imagery, we've got our font size, we've got everything. We've even put in our API login and transaction key if we actually have them. Once that's done, the next thing we want to do is set up one of our 3 options for the online store: Appointments Online, selling gift cards or gift certificates online, and selling retail products online. So I'm going to click on Appointments to set up Appointments Online. And it brings me to this Setup Online Appointments window. Again, it might look a little confusing, but I'm going to explain it all very easily here. By the way, Sherry, I apologize, but you'll probably notice that I speak very rapidly, and I don't really give you an opportunity to ask a lot of questions. I'm trying to get a lot of information in a very short period of time. So I want you to feel free to interrupt me at any time during this class. Just say, hey, I've got a question. And if you wait till the very end, you may have forgotten. Okay?
Okay.
All right, so here we are again. Let's go back. We're going to click on Appointments. That brings us to our Setup Online Appointments window. And all of this is going to be blank white for you. So we need to fill these things in. First is our welcome screen message. This says, welcome to our online booking feature. If you've not yet registered, please click on the Create Your Free Account Now and assign yourself a username and password. If you have already created an account, please feel free to log right in. Madeline. Now, why on earth does it say that? Let's take a look here. Notice, there it is. It says Madeline. The reason it says that is because when I teach these classes, I just like to show people that whatever you write here is going to be immediately available to your customers. So I've changed Madeline to Sherry, and let's refresh. And there it is. It says Sherry now. The important thing to note here is that whatever you write here, your customers are going to see immediately. So make sure that you've got your grammar correct, that you've got your spelling correct, that it looks right, that you haven't messed with the format, things like that. Next, username and password. This is what your customers are going to be putting in after they've created their free account. They get to assign themselves their own username and password. But before we get to that, before we get to the user experience, we need to finish setting this up. So we've written our welcome screen message. Then we have our confirmation message. When your customer goes through the process of actually booking themselves an appointment, they'll be emailed. They'll be emailed in a message that basically says, hey, your appointment has been booked successfully, and it will give them all of the information on the appointment that they've just booked online. But it'll start with this message, whatever you write here. So what I've written is, congratulations, you have successfully booked your appointment online. Next is cancellation policy. Whatever your cancellation policy is for your online bookings, put that information here. Next, we have show prices. You don't need to use this. If it is blue with the plus sign, then your customers will see the prices of your services that you allow them to book online. If it is gray with an X, they will not see your prices. Now you might say, well, why wouldn't I show my prices? Well, you may have a number of different staff that all have different prices for the same services. So instead, maybe in your welcome screen message, you mentioned the fact that prices may vary based on which staff member they choose. And if that was the case, I wouldn't show my prices. But if it's all the same, then yeah, go ahead, feel free. Totally up to you whether you want to do it. I don't show my prices. Next, hours in advance. What does this mean? You can put any number you want in here, but this is the way it works. If somebody has gone to your website or gone to their smartphone to book themselves an appointment online, and you have hours in advance of 1 here, let's pretend that it's 9 o'clock in the morning when your customer whips out their phone to book themselves an appointment for today. Well, the first appointment they would see, if it's available, would be 10 o'clock, even though it's 9 o'clock right now. And why? Because you put a 1 here. If I put a 2 here, then the first they would see would be 11 o'clock if it was 9 o'clock when they were going to do it. It's advancing that many hours to give you essentially a gap. That way you don't have somebody going to their smartphone and booking an appointment for 9 a.m. at 9 a.m. They wouldn't even have time to make it to your business before their appointment was ready for them. So putting something like a 1 in here or a 2 in here may be very helpful to you, but it's entirely up to you. You could put a 0 in there, and people could book for the exact same time that they were using the system online. Next is max days out. It works the same way as hours in advance, but it works in days. So if I put a 1 here, then a customer booking today, the first appointment they would see available to them would be tomorrow. If I put a 2 in here, then it would be for the day after tomorrow. By putting a 0 in here, they're able to book on the same day that they have accessed their app or the website. Next is the cancellation policy. Your customers have the ability to cancel their appointments right through their app or through their computer. Whatever number you put in here is the number of hours that you don't allow that to happen. So by putting a 48 in here, that means that if it is within 48 hours, my customer cannot cancel their appointment electronically. They would have to contact me. I could put a 72 in here. I could put a 480 in here, which would make it 20 days. If it was within 20 days, they couldn't unbook their own appointment. They would have to contact you. So whatever number you'd like to put in there. Next is the booking color. Again, it works just like all the others. When you click on the box, you get to choose a color. I happen to like this hot yellow. But essentially what this is when somebody books an appointment online, that appointment will have this color, whatever color you've chosen. That should make it easy for you to see just with a glance which appointments were booked online and which were booked by hand. Also, the word web will be next to this appointment so that you know that it was booked online. So it will have its own unique color and the word web. Next, we have only book on the. And we've got on the hour, on the half hour, quarter hour, 10 minutes, and 5 minutes. And it works exactly the way you think it does. If you've selected only book on the hour, then a customer can book, let's say that you're wide open from 12 to 5. They want to book with Debbie, and she's got no appointments from 12 to 5. Well then, and she leaves at 5, let's say. So if it was booking on the hour, she would be given 12, 1, 2, 3, and 4 as options to book. If it was on the half hour, your customer would get 12, 12:30. 1 o'clock, 1:30, etc. On the quarter hour, 12, 12:15, 12:30, 12:45. On the 10-minute, 12, 12:10, 12:20, 12:30, 12:40, etc. And of course, on the 5-minute, 12, 12:05, 12:10, 12:15, 12:20, 12:25, etc., etc. We recommend the hour or the half hour. It just cleans it up so that your customer will see a limited number of appointments to choose from. Again, in that same 5 hours time frame, if the 5 hours were wide open, they'd get 5 options on the hour, 10 options on the half hour. They would get 20 options on the quarter hour, 30 options on the 10-minute, and 60 options on the 5-minute. 60 options for a 5-hour gap. That can be a little bit unwieldy. Again, we recommend on the hour or the half hour, but it's there for you. And we do have customers that choose the 10 or the 5-minute specifically because they feel they need to squeeze things in. Next, over here, we have operators. This is a list of your employees that provide services. Notice it says select which operators, groups, and or services will be restricted from online scheduling. In other words, whatever you put a check next to in the box, they will not be able to be booked online. So I can book with all of these people, Abigail and Adriel and Andre and Angie and Anna and Ashley, etc. But I can't book with Leslie or Lizette or Lynn or Madison or Michelle or Sally or Sarah. But I can book with Matthew and more, etc. So if it's checked, those people will not be available for online booking. Next, we have our groups. These are our groups of services. Whatever you place a check next to will not be available for online booking. By group. You might, however, have a group, let's say like massage, that you do allow to be booked online. But you may have certain massages that you don't want booked online. So that's where we come to services. So even though the group itself is available for online booking, you can check off individual services that cannot be booked online. So whatever you place the check next to, those things are restricted and not available for online booking. So once we've done all of this, we can save. And now let's take a look at the customer experience on the website. So your customer will put in their username and password. Let's start from the store. They can click on Book Now. They can type in their username and password, which they have assigned to themselves, and press Login. Then it will ask them to choose their service group. And so they can choose facials or hair or laser, massage, nails, because that's what I've got available. I'm going to go with, say, nails. Then the customer is going to be given a list of services in that group. So I'm going to choose a French manicure. Then the customer is going to be given a list of staff members that can provide that service that they can choose from, or they can choose any. If they've never been to you before, they don't see the person that they'd like to see here, they can choose anybody they'd like Melinda. And then they get to choose their date. So for instance, here we are, September 7th. I'm going to say I'd like to book for September 8th, Friday, and check times. This is going to be on September 8th for Melinda her available hours. Now, she's wide open, I happen to know, which is why you're seeing so many options here. But I'm going to say 2 o'clock for a French manicure with Melinda and continue to confirmation. So now I've got some options here. Schedule below are the services that you've chosen to be scheduled. A French manicure at 2 o'clock on September 8th with Melinda. I can book this appointment now, or I can add another service and then book, or I can wipe it out and start all over. But I'm going to say book appointment. So it tells me that it's been booked successfully, and it has just sent an email to me with all of this same information, me as the end user client. Now let's take a look at the actual appointment book. And here we are on Friday the 8th, and let's choose our nails group. And as you can see, Bella has been booked at 2 o'clock for a French manicure. It's in that hot yellow I chose. The word web is next to it, and it's under Melinda's name. She is booked at 2 o'clock. That appointment booked successfully. That's the process of using the website version of the online booking. So if I said, I want to take a look at the paired app, what my customer will experience there, well, it's going to look something like this, because of course it's going to be your artwork and the name of your business and your color that you chose. And now your customer is able to click on book, for instance. And from that point forward, they're able to choose a group. Notice they didn't have to log in. They didn't have to put in their username and password. Why? They've downloaded the app and they registered when they downloaded that app. From that point forward, the software knows who they are because it's coming from their phone. So they get to choose their group. All of the groups will be listed. In this case, they chose facial care. They now get to click on choose service. The services will be listed. They get to choose the service they want, like a euphoric facial. Then they get to choose their staff member. Again, the staff members will be listed. They get to choose a staff member. Then they get to choose a date, and it'll look like this. They choose the date that they're interested in, and then it will show them the times available, and they're able to choose an available time. Once they have chosen an available time, they can click on continue, and it will show all of the information. Current treatment selected, services to be scheduled, the price, the operator, total cost of your appointment. They can now book it, add another service, or start over, just like on the website. If they click book appointment, then they're going to see something like, whoops, let's go back one. I clicked too many. They're going to see something like this. Thank you, Matt. Your appointment has been booked successfully. The information is going to be here, and it will also send them the email so they can get it off their computer, or they can just look at it right on their smartphone. So not only is the information in the app, but they're also emailed as well. Okay? So that's the process on the app for booking appointments online. Next, in the online store, we're going to talk about selling gift cards or gift certificates. This one's a lot easier to set up. Once you have your API login and transaction key, all you need to do is click on the gift cards button. There's nothing you really need to do here other than select methods of shipping. When you get it, there's nothing here. I've got 3 right now, but you wouldn't have any if you've never set them up. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to delete these shipping items so that it'll look just the way you would see it. So you would click here, and you'd see a screen like this, and there's nothing here. So now I need to add shipping methods. First, is this something that we're going to ship out to them? Meaning, do we sell gift cards that we're going to mail out to our customer? Or are we only going to be doing it as a gift certificate so that the customer is going to have the gift certificate on their smartphone or print it out from home? Well, if it's just a certificate on the smartphone or as a printout, then all I need is email. So I'm going to create a shipping method called email. I just type in the word, and then I put in my shipping charge. Well, emails are free, so I'd say 0 and add. Your shipping charge has been added. That's it. Email, it exists. Simple as pie. Next, I'm going to put in another shipping method because maybe I'm going to give my customer the option to do either. And so I might say USPS first class. And maybe I'm going to charge $4 for that. And add. And now I've got 2 of them there. And then finally, maybe it's that guy in the middle of the night who realizes that his wife's birthday is the day after tomorrow, and he has totally forgotten. So he books an appointment online through your site or through his app, and then he also buys her the gift certificate for it, but he needs it now. So maybe FedEx overnight, and maybe we put in $20 for that and add. So now I've got 3 different options: email, FedEx overnight, and USPS first class. And now I can save this whole thing and exit. That's all I need to do. Now gift certificates and gift cards work as long as you've got your API login and transaction key. I actually don't have those, but we'll see it anyway here. So your customer can go to gift certificates on the website. Let me make this a little larger so you can see it a little better. And I can put in my recipient's first name and last name. This is the recipient, the person who's going to own the gift certificate. So I put in my wife's name. Then I put in a dollar amount, like $100. Or I can select a gift package if you have any for selection. I don't, so I don't have any there. My personal message. Congratulations on being married to me. And then ship to myself, ship it to a recipient, print it out today. I'm going to say I want it to be, my shipping option is going to be email, and I want it to come right to me. Continue. Dina Wiggins is going to get a $100 gift certificate, and it's just going to be via email. My subtotal, my shipping, my total, I can add another certificate to my order if I'd like, or I can simply proceed. This is where I put in my credit card information. All of this is required. I put in this credit card information. Now, because I'm not having a card shipped out to me, I'm not going to check this box and put in a different address. I'm just going to go with this info and then process. As long as the card is accepted, meaning it wasn't declined, their card gets charged, well, now the money's on its way to your bank. And the customer receives an email. And the customer is then able to print that out and hand it to his wife or whatever it may be. It's done. Your software is aware of it. That means that they could buy it, print it out, and walk into your shop 5 minutes later and use it because your software is already aware that it exists. In the app, it's going to look something like this. So your customer will be able to open their app. Again, they can click on gift cards, put in their recipient information and the amount, put in their personal message, and continue. So it might look something like this. Then they can add another certificate or continue. If they continue, they'll be able to put in their credit card information. There we go. And it'll look something like this. They can scroll down to put in the rest of the info and process. If their card is accepted, then they will receive something like this. Their actual smartphone becomes the gift card that you can scan or you can type the number in. However, they will also receive an email that might look something like this with your logo on it. So they can print that out if they wanted to. So they can get it on their smartphone or print it out, either way. All right, let's go on back to our online store. And the next thing we're going to set up is setting up online retail. So let's go here. Let's go back to our main store here. Make that a little smaller now. And we'll select, perhaps the customer would like to buy products. So they click on the products button. On your end, in order to set that up, you click on this retail button. You don't have to use these items 1 through 10. But what these are featured items. You can have up to 10. I have 6, but you can have up to 10 featured items. What that means is that these will be the first items that your customers see when trying to purchase a product through your website or through the app. These will be the very first products they see if you've put any into, so you just put in the SKU number that you get right from your software. And then you're shipping per item. I've said $2.50 per item. So if they buy 1 bottle of shampoo, it'll cost them $2.50 plus whatever the cost of the shampoo is. If they bought 3 bottles, it would be $7.50 because it's $2.50 per item. You get to choose whatever that amount is. Next, we have your manufacturers. All of the manufacturers that you have in the software will be listed. Again, just like before, if you place a check next to a manufacturer, then that manufacturer's products will not be available for online sales. Same with your categories. Everything that's unchecked will be available for sale, and things that are checked will not be. These are your categories. You might have a company like L'Oreal, for instance, that says, yeah, you can sell our products online, but not our Kerastase line. So your manufacturer, L'Oreal, would not have a check next to it, but then your products from L'Oreal. So let's go with Paul Mitchell here, because I don't think I actually have L'Oreal here, but I'll say Paul Mitchell. All of my Paul Mitchell products will be listed. And then I can put a check next to any of them that I don't want to be able to sell online. The reason you may do that is because of diversion. There are some manufacturers that say some of their products cannot be sold anywhere but in the salon or spa itself to prevent diversion. So, like I said with L'Oreal, that's a good example because they make Kerastase, and Kerastase is not permitted to be sold anywhere but inside a salon. However, L'Oreal products can be bought anywhere. Rite Aid, Walmart, Walgreens, Target, it doesn't matter. You find L'Oreal products all over the place, but not Kerastase. You can only find them inside a Kerastase available salon. So that's why we have the ability for you to say, yes, this particular manufacturer does allow them to be sold online, but certain of their products will not be. So after you've selected those checks, you simply press save, and your customer then will see when they go to products on the website, they will see first the products that are actually available for purchase. Featured products. You can change these every day. You can change these once a week. These are our featured products for the month of June or for the month of September, the month of October. And maybe those products for that month have a discount or something like that. Maybe not. Your customer, however, is not limited to those. They can choose from your category, shampoos or finishers or conditioners, etc., skincare, nail polish. They can choose those and choose other products as well. Now, you might notice that there are pictures on these products. In the software itself, in your inventory, whenever you set up a product, you have the option here, sell online or not. And you have this option, upload image. Click, and you can upload an image. Now, you might say, where am I getting those images from? Well, you could take a picture of it right from your shelf if you'd like. But probably the easiest way would be to go online and do something like this. Paul Mitchell, Awapui, there we go, wild ginger, and images. So here are my Paul Mitchell Awapui ginger, and now I can view that image, and I can actually save the image right to my computer just by right-clicking on it and hitting Save Image. Once I've saved an image to my computer, I can upload it into my software. And that's how you might be able to see something like, something like this, okay? Now, when your customer decides that they would like to buy something like the TG Cat Root Boost here, again, in your software, let's find that product. I don't remember what the number is. Cat Root, there it is. And accept. So notice, I also have a product description for online retail, which is basically the same as the product description name, but you can make it longer, whereas this is what you have show up on your receipt, so this one can be a little bit longer. Then you've got your long product description. This says this product is for root coloring treatments and not to be used on oily hair, Cindy. And so there it is. This product is in stock. The manufacturer is TG. Let's make it a little bigger so you can see it. The category is finish, and the description. This product is for root coloring treatments and not to be used on oily hair, Cindy. The point is, whatever you write there, your customers will see. Your customers then, you can look at it a little bigger if you want, or they can simply add it to their cart. And when they add it to their cart, they can then add additional products. They can keep shopping by manufacturer or by category, or they can, once they finish shopping, go to checkout. It's $16. It's got $2.50 in shipping. Any sales tax that may need to be put in would be put in. And then they fill in their credit card information. Also, if they don't want it shipped directly to whatever address they have here, they can check this box and they can put in additional shipping information. Because remember, unlike a gift certificate, they can't print a product out online. You need to ship it out to them. So they make this purchase and they hit proceed to confirmation. If their credit card is accepted, then they will receive a receipt saying what they've purchased and that the product is on its way. On your end, in the actual point of sale, you will get an alert that lets you know that an online product has just been sold. And you're able to click on that alert, and it will show you exactly what was sold so you can take it off your shelf. It will remove the product from your inventory count because they bought it online, and you can print out the mailing label that you can then stick on a box, stuff the product in, and ship it out to them. And it's all taken care of. You don't have to go through the process of actually, making the sale. And the reason you don't have to go through that process is because they've already purchased it online with their credit card. So the way something like that looks in the app, we'll go here to Shop. And it might look something like this. Your customer will then click on the Shop button. And again, they'll see your featured products that they can choose from, or they can click on categories or manufacturers. Once they've chosen a product, like the shoulder packs here, they can then add it to their cart. Then they can either empty their cart or continue shopping, featured products, categories, or manufacturers, or simply go to Checkout Now. And this is where they'll fill in all of their credit card information and proceed to confirmation. And it will give all of the information and where you expect to ship it to. So your customer will see this info and they can proceed with their purchase. If they proceed with purchase and their card is valid, then it will say something like this: thank you for your order, authorization code, you've been charged this amount. You will be sent an email receipt, which has already been done. The minute they went through that process, they received an email. They can either continue shopping or they can go back to the main screen. And they will receive an email. Now this one just happened to be an email that I got on my smartphone. And so it might look something like this. But they could have pulled it up on their computer as well because it's simply an email. Again, on your end, don't forget, you get the alert here. So your customer has made a purchase, you get an alert and ship it out. Now, what if you're closed? It's 11 o'clock at night and your customer makes the purchase of a product online. They take night showers right before they go to bed. They realize they just used the last of their Awapui ginger shampoo. So they get out of the shower, they dry off, they get dressed and ready for bed. They sit down at their computer or they open up their app and they order a new product. 11 o'clock at night, you're closed. That's fine. When you come in the morning, you will get an alert for a purchase that was made last night. So it doesn't have to happen at that exact moment. The system is always polling. It's always asking, was there a purchase made? And if so, it'll pop up the alert for you, and you can't miss it. Nice big planet shows right up on your screen. An online purchase has just been made. You click on it, it'll show you exactly what was purchased, give you the shipping label, etc., so that you can stick those things in your box and you're ready to go. And Sherry, you didn't have any interruptions. You did not ask me a single question during this time. And the class is now over. We're done. So we finished a little early. Do you have any questions for me at all on anything you've seen?
I do, actually. I sat through all of that. We've already put all of that together. So I was like, oh, that's great. That's a nice refresher. We don't actually sell gift certificates or retail through the system.
You just use it for online purchases? Okay.
Correct. So
I mean, not for online purchases. I mean for online appointments. I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So when we go to put our paired app, we go to use it, is it still going to say gift certificates and retail?
Yes and no. We are coming out with an update to our app. It really is the kind of thing that people are asking us to make changes, and they're saying, hey, do this or do that. One of the updates that we've already decided we're doing is that each one of those options, let me show you. We'll just go back here. Right now, they all have their own individual button. They're broken out into this grid that you see here.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have them free floating. And what that means is that if you're not using gift certificates or the shop, for instance, they won't be there anymore, and these will just be lined up differently.
Okay.
So in that, when the update comes out, the answer is yes. That'll be an option for you. They won't be there. However, even though they're there, if you don't use them, if you don't have them set up, and somebody decided to click on shop, then they would get a window that would essentially not allow them to do anything. So it's kind of like a dead button. Can they go right back and go to appointments online? Sure. But right now, if you click on shop, this option is not available at this time. Click on purchase a gift certificate, this option is not available at this time, that sort of thing.
Okay, and then the other, truly the main reason why I was wanting to take this class was to learn more about the messaging and texting option.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, yeah, we normally do that in the paired class. This isn't actually a paired class. This is the online store class, but that's fine. We've got a little bit of time here because you didn't have any other questions, so let's go ahead and take a look. So messaging. Notice I've got this button here that says messages. So if I click on this, right now it says, hey, you know, get your app. Okay. If you've already got it, terrific. If you don't have it, this is what you're going to see. But if you do have it, it's going to look quite a bit different. And let's go ahead and go to that process here. Oh, I think I closed it. Darn it. Bear with me. There we go. And messaging. Okay, so for your customers, because your staff can do this as well. For your customers, they click on Message Us, and they'll get a screen that looks something like this. Okay. So they can either click on Call, and it will dial your salon or spa. Or they can actually type a message, just like a text. So they type a message in here, and it might say something like this. I was hoping you'd let me know if next Saturday you were expecting to be very busy, and then they hit send. So when they do that, they'll see what they sent you, and on your end, something like this will appear.
Okay.
And so now, and every client will be listed here. You might have one, like I have. You might have 30 or 40. All the names will be listed here until you remove them. So you can click on any one of them, and you will see the date and the time. If it's only one person, you know, it'll come up immediately. It'll pop up basically telling you that you have a message. So you can click on it and you'll see what that message is. So if you're answering them immediately, then you won't have a bunch of client names here. You'll just probably have one or two at a time. But so there's her message. I was wondering if your salon was expecting to be really busy this Saturday. So now you, on your computer, you simply type, because this is on your Transcend software. You simply write down in this box right here, you're going to start typing. And you could type a message like, well, Saturdays are usually pretty busy, yes, but I have an opening with Jill at 1 o'clock, who I see you normally see when you're here. Interested? She has an hour. Now, how did I know that she sees Jill at 1 o'clock? I mean, excuse me, that she sees Jill and Jill's got at 1 o'clock. First of all, I'm able to simply hit client info. If I hit that, whichever client I'm highlighted, their client information window is going to pop up. And then I can see their history, who they've seen, or I could see who they prefer to see when they're there. Do you know how to do that in your software?
Yes.
Okay. So then I would just, you know, I see the message. Excuse me. I click on client info. I see, she usually sees Jill. So now I go to Jill's schedule, and I see Jill's got a 1 o'clock on Saturday. That's open for an hour. So I write my message. That's all there is to it. That's, okay. Now, you can use that in different ways. For instance, what if somebody booked an appointment online? They didn't send you a message. They just booked an appointment online. And it was for something that requires a consultation. And you say, okay, I need to let them know that they need to be here 15 minutes early and that it's going to take an extra 15 minutes because this is the first time they've ever gotten this service. So the customer didn't send you a message, but you can very easily on either an appointment or by going directly to the customer's client file. You can go to message. Now, right now, mine is set up just for emails, but there would be another option here. That would be push notification. That would be for the app. So I can write in my message and hit send, and on your client's app, on their phone, even if they didn't have the app open, on their phone, they'll get one of those little pop-ups, a little ding up the top, like you get when you get an email on your phone.
What if they don't have the app?
Well, then you won't be able to send it via the app. You would send it via email. Okay.
And then for text confirmations?
Okay. That's part of our Darcy class, which is a little bit later today. Setting up email reminders and confirmations. In Darcy, we have email confirmations and text confirmations. So you can write whatever message you want, reminder for Sherry. Hi, Sherry. Remember that you have an appointment for a cut and color with Sally on September 9th at 11 a.m. Please arrive 15 minutes early to unwind, etc. In the text, it would say something like, reminder for Sherry in the subject line in the greeting. Sherry, your appointment with Sally is on September 9th at 11 a.m. Reply Y to confirm. So it's a little bit different.
Is it another stupid question? They still have to have the app for the text confirmations?
No. No.
They don't. Okay.
They do not. If you want to use text confirmations, you simply have to have a text account, and your Darcy must be set up. And then once you set it up, you get to forget about it. Darcy is going to run every day, and everybody who has an appointment tomorrow or the day after or whatever you've set it for is going to get that message via email or via text. If it's via email, it's going to have a big blue button on it that says click here to confirm your appointment. If it is via text, it will say reply Y to confirm. If your customer replies Y or they click that big blue button, the appointment will actually be confirmed right on your appointment book. And it will show that the customer confirmed it on this day at this time.
Okay. Okay.
You'll learn a lot more about that in our Darcy class. Are you signed up for the Darcy class later today?
No.
Okay, well, you can certainly sign up for that now. I could even take your information and sign you up for it if you'd like.
I'm not sure I have availability later on today, and we've got the email stuff set up. Mostly it's just the text things.
Well, I can tell you that on our website we do have the Darcy class.
Okay.
Let me just go to, I'm going to quickly go to our website here, prosolutionssoftware.com, and if I go to support and go to training videos, so recorded classes, it's right here.
Okay.
And I've got the online booking retail gift certificate class, which is the class you just took.
Okay.
And then we have the Transcend beginners class. And here, this is the one you want, the Darcy marketing class. So if you don't have time to do it live with me later today or next week or whatever, you can watch this at any time. The only difference is you won't be able to ask any questions. It'll just be it's a recorded class.
Okay. My last question is they sent us a confirmation that our app was ready. Okay. And that's the last I've heard of it. When does this actually go into working?
Okay, well, if your app is ready, then you can download it now. You can, your customers can start downloading it immediately. Do you mind if I ask, what business are you from?
This is Urbaca Salon.
Urbaca? Okay, now I've got a Droid, so I'm going to go to my my Droid Play Store, Google Play Store, and I'm going to type in Urbaca, U-R-B-A-C-A, enter, no, okay.
So if I go to my Apple Store, because I have an iPhone, and I type in Urbaca.
If you've been told, that it's ready.
U-R-B-A-C-A. I'm not seeing anything.
Yeah, and neither am I yet, so let's just see here.
They did say in the email that they were going to send us some sort of paperwork or sign so we could hang it up in our salon so our clients could download the app. So I'm wondering if until we get that, it's not.
No. That shouldn't have anything to do with it at all. Let's see here. No, if you were told that it was available, your clients should be able to start downloading it now. I just wonder why you would have been told that. It's because you're not first. There's a whole bunch of people doing this now, and they're all, when they get notified that it's done. Now, you weren't just told that the artwork was done. You were told that the actual app itself was complete?
Yes. Let me go to the email right now. I did get an email saying that we didn't have the correct, let me see.
How are you spelling Urbaca?
U-R-B-A-C-A.
That's the way I did it. I knew
Let's see. So Hannah emailed me and said, because I had emailed her asking for a username and a password to enable our texting abilities for the system. And she said, I will set this up for you. In the meantime, the link you have for online booking is incorrect. It is missing the S for HTTPS, which is why it's displaying is not secure. I'm not quite sure where the link we have for online booking is incorrect.
Okay. I tell you what, I think that probably the best thing for you to do is to either go into our live chat and speak to a tech, or call in to and ask for Lewis Williams. Though I believe he's, don't quote me, I think he's extension 110, but I'm not sure. But you can ask for Lewis Williams. If you go to extension 101, she can direct you to Lewis Williams. Anyway, he would know about your app, and and then the technical support department would be able to take care of that secure, non-secure issue and get you all squared away there. Okay?
Okay. Great. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your help.
My pleasure, Sherry. Have a great day. Oh, did you want a copy of this class emailed to you?
Yes, please.
Okay, let me make sure I have proper email for you. info@urbacahairsalon.com?
Correct.
That's where we'll send it. You've got it.
Great. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye. Okay.